Hello everyone and welcome back to Neptune's Child Tarot. So grateful to have each and every one of you here today, and we are doing a very special pick a card, one that I am excited to do for you guys today. We are doing self-love messages from the goddess Aphrodite. Since today is Valentine's Day, I figured that for this channel, this would be a good one to do, is to focus on self-love today. So I realize, not everyone has a romantic partner. Some of you are single, and I really feel that self-love is something very important. Apart from us loving someone else, it's important for us to also learn to love ourselves. And so the goddess Aphrodite, the ancient Greek goddess of love, beauty, fertility, desire, pleasure, passion, which is the Roman equivalent to the goddess Venus. And for those of you that are familiar with your natal chart, you might want to check out where your Venus is within your chart to see how that is influencing you in your life as well. But we're doing messages, self-love messages from the goddess Aphrodite, any other messages that Aphrodite has for you. So we're channeling into her beautiful divine energy, divine feminine energy today. So regardless of your gender, we all have feminine, masculine energy within us, and the feminine energy is one that is very intuitive, creative, all about fertility, growth, creation, manifestation, things of that nature. So we're doing this very special pick a card today just for Valentine's Day, although self-love is something that we should focus on every day of our life. But I thought this would be something cool to do for our pick a card today. So pile number one, you are going to be this pile here, and that is going to be with this Angel Aura quartz crystal for pile number one. Pile number two, you are going to be this titanium quartz little crystal that has a bunch of little shimmeries in it. And then we have pile number three with this rhodonite crystal, which is pink and black. So rhodonite for pile number three. So if you do feel drawn to more than one pile for today's reading, that is perfectly okay. Go with whatever your intuition is guiding you to do for this reading today. So timestamps you can find down below in the description box, as well as pinned to the comments. And those of you that are wanting to book private readings, you can find my email down below in the description box. Just send me an email and I will provide you on more information. I do offer a self-love and healing reading, and also a healing the divine feminine energy reading as well. So you guys might want to check those out. Just send me an email and I will get you some more information on that. So pile one with the Angel Aura, pile number two with this titanium little heart, and then pile three with the rhodonite crystal. And I will see you guys at your reading. Hi pile one. So those of you that resonate with the Angel Aura quartz, this is going to be your reading today, and we are getting self-love messages from the goddess Aphrodite. So we're going to look at all of your cards all together. So we're going to save these for a little bit later. So let's pull out the tarot first. We have the High Priestess. We have the Nine of Wings, Obsession, and that is the Nine of Swords. We have the High Priestess, again, second time, with Intuition. And then we also have the Tower with Crisis here. Let's do this one here. That's the larger card. We have Pattern Breaker with card number 3. We have Look to Your Inner Strength, and it says you are stronger than you realize with card number 11. We have I can't even say that. Amaterasu, the goddess of light. We are all sacred mirrors reflecting back the same light. We have card number 15 with fluorite and introspection. Let's see. There's a light right there. Let's see. Okay. We have the law of Dharma. Transform your pain into your purpose. And then we also have the Empress of the Night finale, card number 8. And that says, after the storm, I emerge a shiny new star. So let's see if we can move these down. And we're going to talk about these energies. And I'm feeling like it's a little dark, so I'm going to turn on another light here. So let's see if that makes it any better. Okay. Okay, so Goddess Aphrodite, we're doing self-love messages today. So the first thing that is very stand out to me is that you do have the High Priestess here twice. And so the High Priestess is feminine energy. It is also about our intuition, our connection to our higher self, the connection to the Akashic records. And I'm feeling that many of you that chose this pile could be very strong intuitives. Many of you may also be old souls. And I feel like that is important to this reading in a way that I am seeing pattern breaker here and also the law of Dharma. And it says transform your pain into your purpose. And so I feel like a big message for you here from the goddess Aphrodite is her wanting you to recognize that. And I feel like she is also acknowledging that you have a very important mission this lifetime. And I feel like I said, many of you that chose this pile with the High Priestess energy here have lived many lifetimes. And so, and I feel like many of you, this is your last lifetime that you will have here on Earth. Okay. Many of you that may already feel that way in some way, that you're kind of maybe going through a lot of karmic cycles and energies that you are clearing. And many of you may already feel like you are that person in the family that is changing the course of your ancestral line, generational trauma, things that may have kept a lot of the feminine energy repressed, maybe for many generations. Okay. And so I feel like, because I'm also noticing finale here and pattern breaker, the law of Dharma. So it's making me feel like many of you guys that chose this pile, like this is your final lifetime. And the High Priestess is one that holds a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. And so I feel like a lot of the things that you've experienced in this lifetime is something that the goddess Aphrodite is seeing that is very imperative to you being able to heal and clear. I'm noticing that in this pattern breaker card, this heart is huge. It's glowing. There is this beautiful light that is emanating out of the center of that. Something that's also calling my attention is this beautiful light, which I feel like, figuratively speaking, this would be roughly around her solar plexus that is here. And so I'm seeing the heart chakra, but I'm also seeing this other heart that's here, and right at the top of that heart, to me, that is a lot of crown and third eye chakra here. That is also here. There's also this beautiful light that is kind of in a way surrounding her entire upper chakras here. And so yes, I feel like the goddess Aphrodite really has this message for you with this reading today about the importance of you really working on self-love and healing and the transforming your pain into your purpose. Many of you have learned many lessons, I feel like lifetime after lifetime, of dealing with some very chaotic, challenging energy when it comes to family situations, as well as past relationship patterns of behavior, or anything else in connection to your journey of finding love, or even learning to love yourself in past lifetimes, has been something that may have been very challenging. And I'm feeling that there has been a lot of very, I feel like, chaotic things, turmoil, upheaval that you've experienced within yourself, as well as in things that you've experienced with other people. And I feel like this has been maybe something that has been extremely challenging for you, and it has also been something that has affected self-esteem, self-worth, and you could be in the middle of going through, tower moments in your life, or for some of you, this has been something that you've already gone through, already experienced, and now it's kind of like that healing process has begun with releasing a lot of the challenging energies that you may kind of been holding on to. And with the introspection card here, this is a lot of healing, a lot of inner work that I feel many of you are doing. And those of you that are still holding on to a lot of your pain, this is a very special message for you, in that the goddess Aphrodite is wanting you to really take some time to think about what, and also because this is card number 15, it kind of reminds me of the devil energy, the devil card in the tarot. And the devil is about limitations, fears, insecurities, feeling controlled, manipulated, whether by your own thoughts or by another person that you might have around you, with regard to romantic partners or even family members, friends, things of that nature. So a lot of this is about finding freedom from the things that restrict you and hold you back from either loving yourself, or even from situations in which you find yourself in with romantic partners of people who are not valuing you, okay? Because we're talking about the feminine energy, essentially being about love, and this is unconditional love. And us learning to really love ourselves enough to remove ourselves out of situations with people, whether they be romantic partners, friends, family members, okay? And to really work on releasing anything that is hindering our growth, or even blocking us from learning to love ourselves. And so I feel like this is about you really digging deep inside of yourself. For many of you, this pain and things that you've experienced in your past, whether it is having difficulties with loving yourself, honoring yourself, respecting yourself, holding yourself with, integrity, grace, has been something that's been a challenge for you. This is a time for you to work on releasing any of those wounds. And this could be from past traumas. It can be from, self-limiting beliefs that you hold, negative self-talk. For many of you, I'm noticing that in this 9 of Wings card, or the 9 of Swords, the 9, like I said, the 9 of Swords is about a lot of overthinking, overanalyzing, anxiety, obsessive thoughts, or even intrusive thoughts that kind of come in. And I'm noticing how instead of swords being depicted here, there's a bunch of wings, there's a bunch of butterflies here. So to me, that is also symbolic of the goddess Aphrodite wanting you to work on changing, transforming those thoughts, or even releasing, because the Tower energy is about epiphanies, realizations, revelations that you're having. So this is taking notice of any of those thoughts that you might have centered around maybe any of these pains that you're still maybe holding on to. And this is about you really looking within yourself to recognize that even though you may have gone through something very painful or very challenging, doing this introspective work, doing the inner child healing, doing the shadow work, recognizing where your own limitations are, or your own unhealthy patterns of behavior when it comes to love or even attachment, codependency, obsession. Okay, some of you, it can be having obsessive love, or something that, growing an attachment to someone that could be particularly unhealthy for you. And many of you, that could have been something that you've learned to really heal and work on releasing. And I'm feeling this is a need for, with the pattern breaker here, breaking free of any of those old patterns of behavior. Like I said, for some of you, this can be generational, ancestral, a lot of that having to do with the feminine energy. Okay. And I feel like with the goddess of light, we are all sacred mirrors reflecting back the same light. That this is for you to kind of also take notice of the people that you do have in your life, and to recognize that some of these connections that you might have, whether they are romantic or, friend connections, co-workers, even family members, that these are maybe reflecting back to you a lot of your own wounds. Some of you, there could still be certain things that are triggering you, and I feel like the goddess Aphrodite is wanting you to kind of acknowledge certain things that may still be there, that you are finding, I feel like, within you the strength to be able to face those more difficult energies, or even on those days where you find it's difficult for you to love yourself. We have, after the storm, I emerge a shiny new star. And so after the storm could be relevant to challenging situations that you currently find yourself in, or have found yourself in the past. Because it is through this process of these challenging things, the Tower is really about breaking things down and the release of anything that is not in alignment for us. And so sometimes we can learn those lessons the hard way, with coming together with people that are not serving our highest good. And so sometimes those lessons can be very painful. And so there is a powerful transformation that takes place within us when we can truly look to these situations that we go through and think about how much they have taught us, how much we can grow and evolve and transform from these situations. And I feel that many of you that chose this pile have a very important mission, and many of you could be healing. It could be teaching, okay? The High Priestess is a very knowledgeable, very wise energy. And so many of you may have a very important role to play within this lifetime. And it could be that as you are healing and learning to love yourself and embody the energy of love and beauty and self-love, learning to value yourself, honor yourself, and learning what your worth is, that you are, like I said, that person in the family that is breaking free of those very restrictive, I feel like, belief systems that may have been passed down from generation to generation within the feminine energy, breaking free of any also toxic feminine energy. Maybe one that was more cold or detached, emotional neglect, codependency, attachment, obsessive thinking, and maybe even going into abundance, not believing in the ability to manifest abundance, right? With the fertility. It's also about you learning to honor the feminine energy in that you feel devoted to yourself, your body, the nurturing of the self, the nurturing of and taking care of yourself, which means, it could be exercising, it could be eating better food, it could be learning to love every part of yourself. Okay? And so when I'm looking at this woman here and she's looking at this other woman that's kind of like in this little glass ball here, sphere, to me, this is also you looking into deep within yourself and maybe recognizing everything, right? Taking a moment, a moment's pause to just look within yourself about how much maybe for some of you, how hard you've been on yourself, how you may have mistreated yourself in some way, how you may have talked down to yourself, how you may have allowed the opinions of other people to weigh heavily on your mind, right? For some of you, even worrying about what other people think about you, feeling like you needed validation from others, or you needed to be a certain way, or, in order to be accepted. So I feel like a lot of this is you learning how to accept yourself. And I'm also noticing that in this Law of Dharma card, this lion is just, there's so much power within the feminine energy that I feel like the goddess Aphrodite is wanting you to recognize. And if you notice, as this lion is roaring, there's all of this water that is just very turbulent and chaotic. There's this powerful lightning bolt that is also coming out of the sky. And so to me, I'm looking at this as the goddess Aphrodite wanting you to unleash, in a way, unleash that powerful energy of the feminine for you to really break yourself free from anything that is constricting, especially with the heart, any heart chakra blockages. Like I said, to me, this light looks like a lot of solar plexus energy. A lot of solar plexus energy. This is you building up your confidence, your self-worth. To me also, because we have the lion here, it's also connected into the solar plexus. Okay? And that may be something that you work towards, as learning to be more confident in yourself. Also inner strength here, right? A lot of this to me is the solar plexus that the goddess Aphrodite is wanting you to, I feel like, bring balance to. Recognizing how strong, a powerful force you really are, to be able to overcome maybe a lot of very challenging feelings and emotions, and to be able to bring balance to them. Because I feel like you are an old soul, pile number 1, you hold much wisdom and knowledge to be able, because this isn't your first rodeo. This isn't the first time you have gone through many of the challenges that you've experienced within this lifetime, learning to love yourself, learning to allow others to be open and receptive to love, giving and receiving of love. Many of you have also been caught up in cycles of giving too much of yourself and receiving very little in return. And so you're learning how to create more balance and harmony within your own energy, and tapping into that power and that wisdom and that knowledge within the feminine energy that resides within you. This being something that's helping you to clear any heart chakra blockages, where you're not afraid to face a lot of those inner pains and challenges, and, ways in which you can beat yourself down with insecurities, with fears, with letting people in, with blocking out love, or even being too afraid to let love in. And so the Tower energy is coming in as this powerful message from the goddess about the breaking down of walls, the breaking down of beliefs, the breaking down of intrusive thoughts, obsessive thinking, fear, worrying, and about you truly tapping into that wisdom and knowledge that you hold within the self to be able to heal, to be able to learn to honor yourself and understand that every person that you may have in your life presently or even in the past has been a reflection of something that holds deeper meaning within you that you were needing to heal. Whether that is someone, a relationship, or even a connection with a parent reflecting to you something that you were needing to heal. Because I feel like all of these things that you've experienced are very connected into your life purpose, that it's important for you to just kind of like sit down and look at each and every thing that you've gone through, the pain, the heartache, the not loving the self, the negative self-talk, the allowing others to put you down, the allowing others to make you feel like you weren't good enough. And being able to take all of these things little by little and change the thoughts surrounding that, the feelings that are associated with that, to be able to transmute that energy into something powerful as your superpower here. As, you know, to me, this is kind of like, in a way, this card right next to it. Look to your inner strength. You are stronger than you realize. And to me, that is her inner strength. That is her, this is you, pile one. Discovering that inner strength that lies within yourself, and how powerful this energy is. How powerful this energy is. And it's just kind of like the unleashing this energy of the feminine, love, growth, that I feel like you have no idea. You have no idea the power that you hold. But to me, yes, this is a lot of release here, right? And for you, that could be removing, by you working on releasing these energies, it's helping you to kind of lift and elevate your vibration to that of love, to that of you learning to love yourself, to honor, to respect, to release anything, whether they are certain people, certain situations, or whether they are certain belief systems that you've held. Because this is talking about a pattern breaker, it is cycles, and it may even be as simple as you looking to your family line, maybe to the maternal line. Doesn't have to be, you know, because like I said, regardless of our gender, we all have both feminine and masculine energies. So, you know, like I said, for some of you, it can be healing any toxic feminine energies, right? Especially with this being card number 15 connected into the devil. To me, that is the release of that, right? The devil, and then we have card number 16, which is a tower that comes right after the devil card within the tarot. And so this is the releasing of the old karmic patterns of behavior. And I feel like this is where the goddess Aphrodite is saying that this is so incredibly important for you, right? To also kind of reflect within yourself about what things are holding you back from loving yourself, right? Are they negative thoughts? Are they self-limiting beliefs? Are they fears? Are they insecurities? Are they a lack of confidence, a lowered self-esteem? Have you given your power away? Have you allowed someone's opinions to cut you down and to make you feel like you were not worthy? Okay, so this is really a very beautiful, very powerful message, I feel like, for you. And it's, like I said, a lot of this is connected into the solar plexus. But we are also seeing the heart chakra here, and I'm seeing the crown. She's also got this beautiful, beautiful crown here. Okay. Very, very beautiful. Okay. So that can be something like with you working on finding your confidence, your power, reclaiming your power. Many of you may already kind of feel called to a certain life purpose already, but it's like there's a lot of this transmutation of this energy, right? It is truly very, very beautiful. And for many of you, this can be, a need for doing the introspective work, a need to really kind of sit down and really take some time to go over all of these things that you can think of, events, right, that are coming up for you, things that are not healed yet, that are blocking you from self-love or from being open to receiving love, or for, even feeling ashamed of your body. This is, like I said, learning to love every bit of yourself. Okay. So really looking very deeply, I feel like, into those situations that you've gone through and actually taking the time to reflect deeply within the self to help you along your self-love and healing journey, right? After the storm, I emerge a shiny star. So this is card number 8, which is the Strength card. So to me, this is also, because I am seeing the Lion here, inner strength, which is the Strength card. Actually, that's cute. I love that. 8, the Lion, inner strength, card number 8 is the Strength card in the tarot. So that is the power within ourselves. That is your courage. That is your confidence, also connected into the solar plexus. But after the storm, which is the Tower, card number 16, I emerge a shiny star. Within the tarot, card number 17, which comes after the Tower, is the Star. It is restorative. It is healing. It is restoring energy within us. It's a very beautiful energy. Okay, so to me, this also speaks a lot of your transformation that goes along with you being able to transmute this energy, right, into your power, essentially. Okay, so let's take a look at your last 3 cards here. Pile number 1. So I'm getting a lot of very strong Leo energy here coming through. But we also have Aries, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, and Gemini energy here as well. Okay. And Capricorn, Taurus, Libra. Okay, so we have unity here, and it says you understand that the love shared with another is amplified and has a ripple effect across the universe. Okay, so to me, this is a lot of that energy of, like I was saying, the resonance of unconditional love. Okay, so when we can really work towards elevating ourself and our energy and letting go of the, say, lower vibrational energies that we could be holding on to, right? We're really connecting in with universal consciousness and love and connection with others that are also resonating at that same vibration, that same energy, which means that we are in alignment, right, with that vibration, and also connecting in with different people, attracting different people into our life, connections that are truly beautiful. Okay, and the High Priestess is that energy that is that connection to the spirit realm, your higher self. Okay, so very beautiful energy. We also have Vision here, and it says no matter what, you see the bigger picture of a loving, just universe. And then we also have Cooperation here, and it says in your quest to manifest the energy of love, you realize that every person and experience has value. Okay, and that's something that I was talking about earlier, is that all the pains, all the challenges, all the struggles, they're all teaching us something, right? We are all sacred mirrors reflecting back the same light. All the energy of divinity, union, connection with others. Okay? So yeah, I love this for you. Pile number 1, transform your pain into your purpose. So I'm going to pull some last messages from my Mystic's Dream affirmation cards. Okay? So what other messages does the goddess Aphrodite have for you at this time? Pile number 1. We have, I inspire others. Okay, and that may be that you inspire others by your transformation, your evolution, encouraging others to do the same. And like I said, for many of you, it could be that you do feel called to a purpose of maybe healing, maybe teaching. It could even be like, say, being a mentor, being a life coach, teaching people, motivating people, helping people to be more inspired, more creative, more confident within themselves, leading the way, because this introspection card also reminds me of the hermit, a guide, a mentor, teacher, full of wisdom and knowledge to be able to channel. I feel like also the high priestess energy is also, because there is that connection to the Akashic records, many of you have the ability to be able to download messages directly from source, your higher self, to be able to share that knowledge with other people, right? What they need to be able to help to awaken is a very powerful energy here. And many of you may have already had an awakening, especially with the Tower and the High Priestess here. Okay. We have, I am confident I will achieve my goals. And then we have, I embrace change. Okay. And that change comes with that Tower, right? They're releasing anything that is not in alignment. Okay. We also have, I am in alignment with the universe. Okay. So I'm going to leave it here for you. Pile number 1. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, pile 2. So those of you that resonated with this titanium little quartz heart here, this is going to be your reading. So we are getting messages today from the goddess Aphrodite on self-love for you. So I do have a mix of tarot and oracle that we're going to look at. I'm just going to pull all the cards out for you guys, and we'll see what you guys have. So we'll do that one. Okay, so starting with the tarot, we have the 8 of Pentacles. We have the 5 of Wings with defeat. We have the 7 of Wings with opposition. We also have the 10 of Gems, which is the 10 of Pentacles, and these are both swords, 5 of Swords and 7 of Swords. Protection. And then we have Beautiful Human. Let's see, I can squeeze that in there. And then we're going to save these for a little bit later. So we have Love Who You Are. And it says, you are divine, delightful, and deserving of the wonderful things life has to offer. And that is card number 8. We have Sappho the Poetess. And it says, I love every inch of my body, and I love the women in my life fiercely. We have card number 18 with Citrine, the Sun, and Clarity. Let's see. We also have card number 24, the Little Star, Divine. And it says, my inner child is whole and complete. And then we have the Law of Perfect Health. And it says, listen to the divine guidance within your body. Okay. So, okay, so we're fitting in, right? I might move this a little bit underneath here. Just want to make sure you guys can see all of that. Okay, so Goddess Aphrodite, we were doing self-love messages today. So the first thing that is kind of stand out to me is both the 5 and the 7 of swords here, or the 5 and 7 of wings. And so the 5 of swords energy can be a lot of self-sabotaging types of thoughts, okay? And this can be a lot of those thoughts, kind of like your inner voice, your inner dialogue, the things that you think about yourself, say about yourself. And just to kind of give you an example of that, it could be like, you know, calling yourself stupid, or calling yourself ugly, or feeling like if somebody tells you, hey, you look really beautiful today, or you look really handsome today, you know, you look nice, or something like that, and you automatically go to the insecurity. And let's just say the insecurity is, I don't know, you could think something about your, let's just say your skin or your hair, and someone is giving you a compliment and they're saying, wow, you know, your hair is really shiny, it looks beautiful, it looks, you know, like your skin is glowing. And you automatically go to, well, I have that pimple on my head, or I have that pimple on my face, or I have this scar, or my hair is straight and it feels like limp and it's just not curly, or it won't hold a curl, or, you know, it's just kind of like it's going automatically to that negative space or negative self-talk about yourself, okay? The 7 of Swords can also be a lot of fears, irrational fears, scattered thinking, opposing thoughts, ideas, you know, that you might have about yourself. And so with the 10 of Pentacles energy here as well, the 10 of Pentacles is a card of security, stability, family, those, you know, close to you, your loved ones, your friends, you know, everyone essentially that you do have within your life. And that could be something that is affecting you in a way where these self-sabotaging thoughts, insecurities, irrational fears that you might have are something that could be affecting you in a way that it is blocking out, say, abundance for you. Okay, creating blockages with abundance, or even, and I'm feeling a lot of it because we have the 8 of Pentacles here and also the 10 of Pentacles. And the goddess Aphrodite is a symbol of love, beauty, fertility, pleasure, desire, passion. Okay, and that fertility I'm looking at as that kind of like as that connection into, as it correlates to the Empress energy within the tarot, which is divine feminine, right? It is fertility and growth and abundance and prosperity and manifestation. And so I feel like with you having both the 8 of Pentacles here and the 10 of Pentacles, a lot of your message here that the goddess Aphrodite has for you today in terms of self-love is for you to really work towards healing your thoughts, right? And it's not always easy to just change our thoughts, right? It takes work. It takes us to focus and to be definitely more mindful of when we are starting to kind of trail off into the negative, right? And we can be mindful, and we can be like, we can catch ourselves. We can take notice. Are we being negative right now? Are we automatically thinking something negative about ourselves? And this was something also when I was going through Reiki school, actually. My Reiki master instructor, he was telling us that we all have a tendency to have or speak or even think negatively about ourselves every single day. Every day we do it to ourselves. And he was telling us, try if you can, just for an experiment, one day, to think about how many times you catch yourself in a negative thought throughout your day. Something negative about yourself. You look in the mirror, or some of you may kind of like avoid the mirror altogether, right? Not wanting to look at yourself, not wanting to believe in yourself. And so a lot of this is going to come with healing those thoughts. Okay? We have card number 23 here, and it says beautiful human, right? And so this is about you really learning to love yourself with all of your flaws and the things that you perceive as flaws, and looking at yourself in the mirror every day and telling yourself, I love you, right? Looking at your, maybe the thing that you feel is a huge insecurity for you, okay? Whether it be you don't like your feet, or you don't like your knees, or you don't like, something about yourself, right? A scar or stretch marks, or, like I said, maybe for some of you it's your hair, and you feel like your hair is just like, doesn't do what you want it to do, and you wish that you had somebody else's hair, or somebody else's this, or somebody else's that, right? So this is about you recognizing how beautiful you truly are, is something that the goddess Aphrodite is wanting you to focus on, and to work on having more confidence. Like I said, and a lot of this is like, it's easier said than done, right? When I'm saying just be confident and that'll, fix everything. Doesn't work like that, right? If it was that easy, then we'd all be able to feel better about ourselves, right? But it takes work. And so the Eight of Pentacles is a card of self-mastery. This is a lot of hard work and dedication and commitment that we put into ourself. Okay? For some of you, like I said, that Eight of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles is around abundance, right? So that would be the fertility aspect of the goddess Aphrodite, with fertility and creation, ideas, thoughts, plans, creating something new. And a lot of these cards here, I'm noticing a lot of them are about you learning to love yourself, okay? We have the poetess Sappho, and it says, I love every inch of my body, and I love the women in my life fiercely. So it's you learning to love and accept yourself, but also the other, let's just say, feminines in your life, right? The other females. Doesn't necessarily have to be female. Like I said, or I think I was telling Pile One, actually. We all have feminine and masculine energies, okay? So these messages don't have to be strictly for females that are watching this reading. They can be that you are tapping into and tuning into that divine feminine aspect within yourself and learning to love her, I will say, okay? But this is, to me, a lot about body positivity, okay? We also have love who you are. And it says you are divine, delightful, and deserving of the wonderful things have to offer. So this is also, maybe there is negative self-talk about body, right? The negative things that you might say about yourself. Like I said, I don't like my feet. I don't like my hands. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like all these things, right? Worthiness, right, is another thing that's coming up here, right? I don't feel like I'm worthy of love. I don't feel like I'm worthy of abundance. I don't feel like I'm worthy of this job, right? This is about you discovering all of the unique gifts and things about yourself that you have to offer. We also have the law of perfect health, and it says, listen to the divine guidance within your body. So this is also saying that as you are working on your self-love, healing, things of that nature, that you recognize and pay attention to and listen to what your body is telling you, right? Do you feel tired? Do you feel weak? Do you feel drained? Do you feel stressed out? Do you feel like your mind is bogged down with a bunch of fears, with a bunch of insecurities, with a bunch of, maybe even self-limiting beliefs that you hold within yourself or about yourself, right? So this is a need for you to I feel like pay close attention to what you feel with inside of your body, inside of yourself, so that you know if there is something that you are needing to work on. Especially with both the 5 and the 7 of Swords coming in here. Is it something that is affecting your mental health? Okay. That may be something to pay attention to here as well. And so with Divine, the little star, it says, my inner child is whole and complete. With this message here, many of you, it could be that the goddess Aphrodite is wanting you to really focus on healing your inner child. Okay? Connecting with her or him. And that can be allowing you, it could be tuning into, right? Or the inner child energy that is creative, that is full of magic, that is without the egoic type of, say, negative thoughts, negative thinking, right? And it's more about you tapping into that energy of the inner child. And that can also be creative energy. Yeah, creative energy. And if you think about the energy, the inspiration, the magic, the way in which a child thinks and believes about the self, believes in the self, right? Before all of those negative thoughts start to filter in, right? As we grow older, we start to develop the ego, right? So the mind of a child, in a way, is very different, right? There's a lot of confidence, a lot of belief, a lot of feeling. There's so much creative energy within. And so a lot of this, what I'm seeing here, is a need for maybe releasing, I feel like, maybe stressors from your life, because the 5 of Swords can also be conflict, right? Conflicting thoughts. It can also be conflict with others, conflict with family. For some of you, it can even be avoiding family because of conflict, because of communication with family, and it being something that is not so great. Some of you may have grown up in homes in which there was a lot of conflict happening within the family, and maybe even in situations where family had avoided the topic of discussion of certain challenging things that may have been happening in the home, right? Even having, say, like parents who wouldn't acknowledge hurting people's feelings in the family, hurting children's feelings, hurting you in some way with words that were communicated or spoken. It could even be siblings, right, that say something to you that make you feel different about yourself, right? Let's just say that you go out and you have, like, you buy yourself a new outfit, and then you come out of the room and your family says something to you that hurts your feelings, or you go to school and you have somebody who's bullying, right? They make fun of you to the point where you're just like, okay, I don't want to wear this anymore. I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that because of what someone else has said, right? So many of you, this could be the goddess Aphrodite wanting you to work on healing, for some of you, the inner child, right? Learning to love who you are as a person. I'm seeing the way that she's got her little hands together too here. So it kind of looks like she's praying to me in some way. So some of this can even be forgiveness, right? Forgiveness towards others. It can be forgiveness towards yourself, forgiving yourself, especially for those of you that may have mistreated your body in some way, right? By not eating good food, and for some of you, it may not have even been, of course, your choice, right? You could have had no other choice but to eat maybe unhealthy food, or have mistreated your body in other ways, right? Not having, say, respect for it in some ways, or, many different ways that I'm not really going to get into with this reading, but you kind of get my idea, right? Mistreating your body in some way by maybe addictions. It could be, promiscuity, Okay? Different ways. So, yeah, I feel like there's definitely this energy here from the goddess that is wanting you to learn to be more confident in yourself, in your body, learning to love your body. And like I said, it is something that doesn't happen overnight. It takes work, right? Sometimes it includes reparenting the self, mothering, nurturing your inner child. If reparenting is something that is necessary, right? That you actually take the time to dedicate and commit yourself to doing that work, okay? Learning how to master yourself, to master your own thoughts. Another thing that I'm seeing here, and this is where I'm kind of feeling there's a lot of heavy influence surrounding abundance in your pile. Of course, as well as I'm seeing it as abundance, and I'm also seeing this other here with you learning to love your body. Basically, love your body, love who you are, unique, different, not feeling like you need to compare yourself to other people, is citrine, which we have some citrine right here, oddly enough, right next to the Ten of Pentacles. But citrine is a beautiful crystal to work with for manifestation, for abundance. And you have both the 8 and the 10 of Pentacles here. And so I feel like this card here, as you're healing, as you're learning to love yourself and understanding that you are someone who is worthy of abundance, prosperity, security, stability, that this energy is helping you to gain clarity from those, I feel like for some of you, deeply rooted fears, irrational fears, insecurities. For some of you, there's a need for bringing up suppressed feelings and emotions to the surface for you to shed light upon. For others of you, I'm seeing this as doubts, uncertainty. Okay. There's also this need for boosting up, of course, self-esteem, self-confidence, right? Like I said, for many of you, it can be that you do just gazing in the mirror and looking at that part of yourself that has been difficult for you to like or accept. Maybe something about yourself, like I said, about your body. You know, you don't like your hips, you don't like your waist, you don't like your knees, you don't like your butt, whatever it is, right? And begin to create a daily practice or a ritual for yourself that you look in the mirror and you learn to say to yourself, you know, I love this about myself. I love this. And learn to love and accept that part of you that you feel maybe has been difficult for you, right? To spend and to dedicate that time for that for yourself. Okay? For many of you, this is going to be a lot of deep inner work with healing the inner child. Okay? Recognizing how beautiful you are with your flaws or what you perceive to be your flaws, and learning to accept yourself and feel that you are absolutely worthy of love. And like this card is saying here, deserving of all of the wonderful things that life has to offer. Okay? So a lot of this is going to be getting the thoughts under control. And like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes work. It takes us, kind of like I was talking about my Reiki master instructor. Just pay attention, just an experiment, just for one day, and think of it. Keep a little, kind of like a little, what do you call that? A tally where you're just like thinking of like all the times, right, that you every time that negative thought pops up in your mind, right? There's another one, there's another one, there's another one. And think about how much you do that to yourself every day, right? And as we have those thoughts, our body, our cells within the body hold on to the vibration of that energy, right? So that's kind of where I was taking this back to the law of perfect health. Listen to the divine guidance within your body, right? Are you someone who is holding on to maybe a lot of that negative energy centered around, thoughts of others, conflict? Like I said, for some of you, could be friends, family that you've had, words, aggressive energy that has been directed towards you, maybe even as a child, right? Hurtful words, because that's what the Five of Swords is. It's hurtful, not so nice things that people are saying to you. And for many of you, it has been in the family, by friends, by even romantic partners for some of you, right? Some of you affecting your inner child, the wounded inner child that believes those things that someone said to her 20 years ago, right? 40 years ago, depending on how old, you are. But that is what that Five of Swords is. It can be very conflicting, aggressive, hurtful, mean, vile things sometimes that are communicated in that Five of Swords energy, right? To the point where you feel put down. You feel like you don't feel good about yourself because of something someone else has said. And what happens is we repeat that thought over and over and over, and we start to believe that about ourselves, which then begins to affect us in many different ways, where we feel like we're not good enough. We cannot accept ourselves. We don't recognize the beauty that we hold and the uniqueness that we are, the divinity that we hold from within the self, just as we are, right? Really learning to accept the self. And so with the energy of the sun here, to me, this is also, like I said, a lot of confidence within yourself. I am seeing, what else here? Yeah, paying attention, because like I said, the body, the cells are going to store that memory of that energy that we're holding on to, right? For some of you, that negative thinking or negative thoughts or even fears are stored within the body, right? Which could be making us throw us off balance, right? It could be manifesting into our life as certain health issues that are coming up for us, right? Certain autoimmune disorders that just get triggered, right? With no, real reason for us to think, like why all of a sudden am I, let's just say 30 years old, and all of a sudden I have this autoimmune disorder, or I have this, cluster headaches, or I have muscle aches and pains. I feel fatigued. I feel tired. I feel this. I feel that, right? So it's paying attention to how that energy, how your thoughts are holding on to that energy. And is it something that is causing you some type of dis-ease within the body? Okay. To me, I'm also seeing how in this card here, he looks like he's meditating. Okay. So meditation may also be something that is very helpful for you to really work on the self-love, right? Maybe this is you channeling into your inner child. Maybe it is you with affirmations, right? About loving yourself, about feeling that you are worthy of abundance, you are worthy of love, you are worthy of, having an inner child that feels healed, that feels nurtured, that feels protected, that feels whole and complete, right? Apart from these thoughts that are here, right? You to be able to feel safe, to feel secure, to feel stable, to feel grounded within yourself versus in your head, right? Which can be a very airy, very floaty type of energy where we're feeling in kind of thinking worst case scenario with thoughts and things like that, and a need for us to really kind of gain clarity, right? Because that Seven of Swords is, like I said, very scattered thinking, thoughts all over the place, not being able to concentrate, not being able to focus, which could be another thing that Aphrodite is kind of bringing forward for you. Okay, so yeah, and like I said, some of you, this inner child could be actually healing the inner child, reparenting for some of you, replacing things that have been said to you, right? Making your inner child feel safe, loved, honored, protected, secure, right? Maybe even doing meditations to connect with your inner child, maybe especially around any type of trauma that you may have gone through in the past, and connecting with your inner child to make them feel safe, right? Maybe even for some of you, there could be things that maybe even bothered you as a child, or things that were said to you as a child that made you kind of grow up into an adult where you couldn't accept or love your body. Okay. Sometimes you can have a parent who picks on you or who says, some things that to kind of put you down in a way, right? Especially with you going through, like puberty and changing and things like that. And you start to have other people, maybe people bully, like especially if you were someone who was like taller than the rest of the kids in class, or you were smaller, or you had, something different about yourself that other people kind of pointed out and weren't willing to accept or point out, and they feel like they needed to just say mean things, right? Or having, like I said, a parent who could be that way, maybe one that is wasn't comfortable in their own skin, and so they were kind of projecting that energy onto you because they weren't accepting of themselves, right? So it's kind of just putting that on you, maybe making you to the point where you couldn't love your body, or even having a partner, right? Having a romantic partner, or maybe even a toxic family member or a friend or romantic partner who made you feel less than, right? Maybe said some mean things to you. I remember one time, I think this was probably like at least 20 years ago, and I had this neighbor that used to live across the street from me, and her husband was so mean to her. Like, she had just had her third child, and I remember that her husband was so just like, would say some really mean things about her body, like in front of me, in front of my kids. And I was just like, wow, this is like, and she, of course, she would feel embarrassed. She wouldn't say anything. She just kind of like shut down and stay quiet. And I just felt like so bad, like thinking, how could somebody do that to somebody that they love and say things like that to make your partner feel like that? But for some of you, it could be going through that type of experience where you have someone say things like that, and those things stay with you, right? They stay with you at the back of your mind, and they're hard for you to let go of those, right? I've also been in a past relationship that was super toxic, that I had a partner that was like that to me, that would say things like that about my body and about how this wasn't perfect and that wasn't perfect. And, look at this person's perfect body over here and yours doesn't look like that. And it's just like, wow, that people are mean. People can say a lot of those things. So that's kind of more or less what I'm seeing here is that you learning to love and accept yourself exactly who you are. And I feel like people that feel the need to kind of say things like that, it shows much more of a reflection of who they are as a person versus who you are. Okay, so let's take a look at your other three messages here. Pile number 2, we have peacefulness, and it says, you recognize that balance, kindness, and love bring calmness to your soul. Okay, which is really beautiful. It's about you being able to kind of find that peace from within, right? Instead of those thoughts that are, like I said, could be manifesting in the body as certain ailments, right? Or things that are kind of happening, mental health issues and feeling stressed out and feeling and holding on to that energy within the body that starts to make us sick. This is holding on to the energy of being kind to yourself, speaking kindly to yourself, right? Learning to love yourself, and how that is much more of an energy of bringing about peace within yourself than it is feeling a lot of those very difficult or challenging thoughts and energy that you're holding on to, right? This is Spirit saying here, you recognize that balance, kindness, love bring calmness to your soul. Okay? Kindness. We have, you are a humanitarian made of love, and you are able to share that energy with others. Okay? So to me, this is kind of like that message from the goddess Aphrodite, is that you can extend this energy towards others, right? Even if you are being met with people who have some very challenging energies, right? Again, you can recognize it's a reflection of them, not of you, right? So this takes a lot of practice, of course, because sometimes when people are mean and they're rude, or you can have those thoughts, within yourself that are not so great. This is you being able to, I feel like especially with other people, that you can be that person who chooses to not resort to that level of saying certain things back to a person. It doesn't make what the person has said to you right? But it can be that you are choosing to change the energy around. Okay? So yes, you're a humanitarian made of love, and you're able to share that energy with others. And then we also have compassion. And it says you demonstrate the language of the heart by actively sharing and living love. Okay? So love is one of the highest vibrations. Okay? Which is really where the goddess Aphrodite is wanting you to work towards those feelings, those thoughts, more or less thoughts here that are coming through with the swords energy, to be able to commit yourself to working on you, right? Healing the inner child, learning to love your body, paying attention to what signals your body is giving you. Does it need rest? Does it need more water? Does it need you to remove yourself out of stressful situations in your life, right? Are you negative thinking or self-talk about your ability to manifest abundance, right? Do you put yourself down? Okay, so the last part of this reading, we're just going to get some affirmation cards for my Mystic Stream affirmation card deck, which is available on Etsy. So let's see, what other messages does the goddess Aphrodite have for you at this time? Pile number 2. What messages does the goddess Aphrodite have for you? I validate myself. Okay? Which is powerful. This is not feeling like you need to be accepted by another person, right? I validate myself. Let's see what else. Pile 2. We have, I am free of worry and regret. I am confident in my abilities. And we also have, all I need is within me. And then we have, I am open to new opportunities. Okay? I am open to new opportunities. So I'm going to leave your reading here for you, pile number 2. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, pile 3. So those of you that resonate with the rhodonite crystal, this is going to be our reading today. So we are getting messages from the goddess Aphrodite on self-love, okay? So we are going to start off with looking at your tarot. And then we're going to save these for a little bit later. So let's get out tarot first. So we have the Six of Hearts, which is the Six of Cups. We have the Five of Shells, disappointment, which is the Five of Cups. We have the Wheel of Fortune with luck. And then we have the Six of Wings with passage as the Six of Swords. And I'm going to have to put this big card here. We have card number 4 with endings for beginnings. Endings for beginnings. Okay. So we have ask for help, card number 14. What do you really need? Be willing to accept support. We're going to try to fit all of these in here. Let's do this one over here. We have tangerine quartz, solar plexus chakra with Shakti. Okay. We have the law of rhythm, and it says the universe is guiding you. Go with the flow. Let's see. We have Maya, the ancient grandmother teacher, and it says, I am the teacher that leads with self-knowledge. Okay. And then we have Mirabai, the saint of true freedom, and it says, love is what sets me free. I am married to my own soul. Okay, so a lot of this energy here, let's see. I'm just going to take a second to look at this. Okay. So what is kind of stand out to me is this Five of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune, which I feel like the goddess Aphrodite's message for you is you may have been kind of stuck in, I feel like, some kind of maybe karmic cycle. Okay. And a lot of that is tied into the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups energy is a card of nostalgia, a card of past memories, things from the past. This could be past connections. It could be your childhood, past relationships. With the Five of Cups energy here, this is a card of very heart-heavy energy. And these can be feelings of pain, sadness, loss, grief, hopelessness, feeling helpless, maybe even depression for some of you. And a lot of that could be, for some of you, tied into your inner child, or even past memories that you have from past relationships, past friendships, connections, whatever they might be. And so with the Wheel of Fortune being here, it makes me feel like the goddess Aphrodite is acknowledging how many of you that have chosen this pile have been stuck in a cycle of holding on to the past, and that being something that is holding you back. Okay? Something that's holding you back here. And the Six of Swords energy is the rites of passage kind of card, message with this card. It is essentially us moving away from certain thoughts that we have that have been creating challenging energy for us. And for many of you, it is tied into your feelings and your emotions of these past memories, or for some of you, like I said, childhood. Okay? So the Six of Swords is helping us in a way to move on, to let go, to remove ourselves from any type of difficult energy, and to transition past that so that we are able to move past that particular cycle. Okay? So we have endings for beginnings. And for some of you, that endings for beginnings is symbolic of closing out a chapter of your life so that you can move forward into the next phase, the next chapter, right? But we also have ask for help here. And this is card number 14, which is the Temperance energy, which is healing. Okay? It says, what do you really need? Be willing to accept support, right? So many of you that have been feeling stuck, holding on to the past, not able to get past certain things, either from childhood or past relationships, past friendships. A lot of this is about you being able to break yourself free from that cycle. Okay? Creating some type of an ending of really working towards being able to let go. Okay? Being able to let go. And if that means that you're asking for help, if that means that you're going to see a therapist, if that means that you're going to talk to someone, right, that has more expertise. Look at how this mermaid here, she's right in front of this, which he looks like a very gentle, sweet, it kind of reminds me of the King of Cups. And she's here talking to him, and he's just very gently, putting his hand on her head, because this is an energy of him showing compassion towards her, listening to her, what she has to say. And so this can be symbolic of you getting the help that you need, not being afraid to ask for help, especially for those of you that are suffering emotionally, right? Some of you literally may be going through grief. The loss of, I'm getting for some of you could be a child, it could be a sibling, it can be maybe even a friend or a family member, a great love that you've had in the past. With that Six of Cups, a soulmate, right? Maybe having someone actually pass, or even just grieving the loss of a connection, that you've had a breakup that has been difficult or challenging for you to be able to heal from. Okay? So with the Wheel of Fortune is the cycles of life. It is a turning point in our life also, that we can have. And the Wheel of Fortune is about us learning to kind of go with the ebbs and flows of life. We go through cycles. We go through some challenging times, and we have to trust that things won't always stay that way, that we can create changes, right? Endings and beginnings here. It is constantly happening with the Wheel of Fortune. Okay? We have the law of rhythm. The universe is guiding you. Go with the flow. Okay? So like I said, for many of you, it can be feeling kind of stuck here, living in the past and not able to be present in the here and the now. Okay? And that's basically what the Six of Swords card is trying to help you to transition past these things from the past, right? And having an understanding of why certain things come to an end, right? Some things are difficult, especially when we lose someone we love, right? Especially if they're passing out of this physical plane and into the spirit realm. It can be very challenging, very painful, causing a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of trauma, and things of that nature, okay? But this is about the goddess Aphrodite wanting you to be able to find, I feel, peace and healing from within the self, right? We also have Maya here, the ancient grandmother, teacher. I am the teacher that leads with self-knowledge. To me, this is also the goddess Aphrodite wanting you to connect in with your ancestors. Maybe even maternal line. This could be grandmother, great-grandmother, or maybe even mother. Okay? With that feminine energy, the wisdom and the knowledge to be able to... I'm feeling for some of you creating a rebirth for yourself, right? We're unpacking and we're letting this stuff go from the past. And this is where the goddess is acknowledging the heaviness in your heart that you might feel that has been very difficult to be able to move past. Not being afraid to ask for help. Whether that is talking to a friend, whether that is getting therapy, talking to a psychologist, a therapist, or a counselor, a mentor, somebody to be able to give you some type of guidance, to listen, right? Just to be an ear to listen, so that you are able to express your heart and your feelings and your emotions and release it, so that you're able to move past it. For some of you, it can even be grief counseling. Okay. We have love is what sets me free. I am married to my own soul. Okay. So to me, that is also about you learning to truly love and be in love, fall in love with yourself, right? Love being something that sets you free. Because I will say that for those of you that are holding on to stuff from the past, or painful memories or things that you've gone through from your past, it is that feeling of love, or that energy of love, especially for those of you that are, say, grieving the loss of someone, someone who is very near and dear to you, whether they have passed, like I said, from the physical plane into the spirit realm, or it's just that there is a separation, a breakup, or something that is no more. Okay? That you hold love in your heart for that person, right? And allow that love to be something that sets you free from that past, which means that we are holding nothing but love in our heart for that person, because love is the highest vibration. And when we can love, regardless if something has come to an end to our life, it can help us to change what our thoughts are surrounding letting that person go, right? We can hold that person in a very special place in our heart and allow them to reside there, allow them to live in our heart, and that memory to be something that lives on, but to be able to process the feelings and emotions associated with that loss or disappointment that we felt, or the feeling of hopelessness, maybe if it's from childhood, things of that nature. So love is what sets me free. I am married to my own soul, and I'm actually curious to see what the guidebook says about this one here. So it's Mirabai. So the message with this card from the Divine Feminine Oracle, it says, when your soul selects her card, it says, often without realizing it, we make choices based on external expectations on how we think other people will perceive our actions. Mirabai is about doing what's right for you and no one else. Ultimately, only you can know what needs to be done or said. You have this one brief life, and every second of it matters. Mirabai is about standing up for what you know is right for you, even if others will judge you for it. The fear of being persecuted can convince us not to be true to who we really are. There's a love, though, that's far larger than human constructs and cultural values. Love isn't ethical. Love isn't bound by any idea of what's socially acceptable. Love is what sets us free from the expectations that bind us. Love, in whatever way it finds us, asks us to stay loyal to our own soul. Any outside force or person who asks us to betray our most intimate relationship with the divine isn't acting out of love. For Mirabai, her true husband wasn't the one she was married to. The love that made her brave, the love that inspired her every poem and action, was the divine love for Krishna. So the laws that bound her to the strict expectations of being a wife didn't actually apply to her. Love asks us to look at what really matters to us and what we truly value. And love asks us to bravely defy expectations in order to be true to ourselves. Love wants us to marry our own soul. Okay? So the soul voice meditation says, what holds me back from expressing my truth? So the little of the background is saying that she was a bhakti poet and mystic from Rajasthan, India. Princess born in the late 15th century. She was unwillingly married to Bhoj, the crown prince of Mewar, in 1516, but she considered Krishna to be her true husband. Okay, so this is her, in a way, forced or arranged marriage. Okay. So, but yeah, to me, this is really speaking of about you being true to yourself. Okay. Learning to not feel like you have to fall into a mold of what other people think or feel you need to do or be or become, as well. And then with you have the tangerine quartz here, Shakti, with the solar plexus chakra. That is the feminine energy. That is the feminine energy, that we're seeing there. So that can be a need for you to really work on healing your solar plexus chakra, right? To help to get that Shakti energy, feminine energy moving throughout the chakras, okay? Dancing, okay, will be something that will help you to release this feminine energy. There are certain yogic practices that can also help you with that. Just dancing, though. Dancing, moving your body, putting on some music that you like, and really just kind of allowing yourself to just go nuts on the dance floor or in your bedroom, and really kind of channel into that energy, okay, which is super powerful because the Shakti is the feminine energy. So that is also something, it's kind of like you releasing the feminine, in a way. Releasing that feminine energy within you is something that the goddess Aphrodite is saying that this will be something to really help you to step into your power, and just kind of letting that energy, that powerful, right? Because the goddess Aphrodite is about love, beauty, fertility, pleasure, passion, desire, all of that powerful force within you. So with you kind of working, and I'm seeing how this is number 5 here too. The 5s in the tarot are about challenges, changes that are needing to be made, conflicting thoughts, views, ideas, emotions, feelings, things that really challenge us to grow. And so many of you may find challenge centered around your feminine energy, or maybe even feel like you have a hard time tapping into it, right? So to release that Shakti, like I said, a lot of that could be you going into specific yogic practices, certain poses that can help you to really kind of feel that Shakti energy rising. But dancing is also an amazing way to just kind of let loose, let yourself, let your body move, and kind of just flow into and allow the energy to kind of just like pump through your veins and feel all of that very exhilarating energy of you not caring who's looking, who thinks you don't dance the best, who cares, right? You do it at home, you do it in privacy, and you just kind of allow yourself. And what I'm kind of feeling with this is maybe like a lot of very kind of like tribal ways in which you just kind of move your hips, a lot of hip movement, could be something that's very helpful for you to kind of tune into or tap into that energy and just get it kind of released and moving. But another thing that I'm seeing, like I said, is going to be the release of that feelings, emotions, honoring them, getting the help that you need for some of you, okay? Making peace with the past, okay? For some of you, can be inner child healing that you are working on, okay? So let's look at your last 3 cards here, pile number 3. We have willingness here, and it says you are able to compromise if the end result is love, okay? So to me, this is also your willingness to work on your healing, right? Work on your resonating at the energy of love to free, in a sense, yourself, your soul, okay? We also have patience, and it says you are able to let the universal energy of transformation move according to its own loving rhythm, okay? And then we have creativity here, and it says you love to devise new ideas, innovations, and forms of illumination. And so to me, with you kind of activating the feminine energy within you, it also helps to open up that creativity, right? Where you do feel more confident and understand the ebbs and flows of life and can better be able to kind of go with the flow and understand that endings are very much a part of life, right? and understanding when some certain cycles need to come to an end so that we can create and manifest new beginnings for ourselves. To me, this is also you being patient with yourself, especially if you are really dealing with grief of some kind or depression. Don't get discouraged, right? Know that this will be something, as long as you commit yourself to healing and self-love, that it will be something that will pass, but don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. And be patient with yourself, because especially if you're going through something very challenging emotionally, you can get frustrated and you can feel like, okay, why am I still healing from this? Why is this taking so long, right? Be patient with yourself. As long as I feel like with the willingness to heal, the willingness to focus on self-love, honoring yourself, honoring your feelings, honoring your emotions, and also learning, right, from what you've learned from these experiences. What have they taught you? Okay. So we're going to get some last affirmation messages for you. This is my Mystic Stream affirmation card that is available on Etsy. So pile number 3, let's see what else for you. Messages from the goddess Aphrodite for pile number 3. Okay, so we have I celebrate myself. I acknowledge my own self-worth. I am beautiful, powerful, and capable. I embrace change. Okay, I embrace change. Let's get one last one here. I love who I see in the mirror. Okay, which says a lot about you learning to express, or not express, learning to accept yourself. Learning to accept and love yourself just as you are. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here for you, pile number 3. I do hope that this reading was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next one.